Welcome back to another episode of TSP, episode 154, with our first guest, Chad Stahl. This week, we invite Chad Stahl into the TSP Arena to talk about his dedicated hobby in youth wrestling. We open up the TSP hotline, where friend of show Paul Tippy calls in, and Chad and him air some grievances. We go around the mill this week with a multitude of topics. David Njoku burns his face off, a possible Bigfoot sighting that could be a hoax, a goat rental sign that's raising a lot of questions at a Toledo Little Caesars. Are Skittles getting banned in California? And Jada Pickett has been making some waves and headlines with some of the stuff she's been saying all week. We got all this and more on another loaded episode of TSP. As always, be sure to smash that subscribe button, like, follow, comment, and share. It definitely helps us out in the algorithms and gets us out to other listeners in new ears. Enjoy the show, and we'll catch you for the next one.
Yes, sir. TSP episode 154. I'm your host, Bobby Hall, and with me, as always, unfortunately, for now, we'll see. We got our guy D'Lo with us, and Joe the Greek is off dealing with some issues right now. Nothing crazy, but he's hopefully gonna maybe be able to pop in later. If not, it's just gonna be the OG triple OGs again, but. All good. We got another fantastic episode on tap for you guys after what was, I don't know, maybe one of our strongest episodes to date. Dylan, I mean, we were just talking about the other day. We had some really nice growth on the YouTube side. We gained some subscribers. I mean, we almost tripled our views over the last episode, which is awesome. I mean, we got more views in the first 24 hours than we did the entire week of the previous episode. So, and then even Monday morning, as soon as you sent us the link, I mean, you had a little chat that morning. You know, we both agreed that it was a very strong episode, really funny, an enjoyable one, man. And obviously, I think a lot of people agreed. So, I appreciate all you guys that came through for us and got the word out. And those of you that hit the subscribe button for us, we're inching our way towards them triple digits. So we're keeping it going, but. I will ask again, if you guys are watching on YouTube, just hit that like button for us. It'll take a split second, and that'll really help kind of get things rolling for us as far as YouTube kind of pushing us in the the algorithm. That's our favorite word to say every week, but that really is the case. So just when you hit the video, on Monday morning or whenever, just tap the like button, and that's going to help us get into more feeds and get seen by more people. So. It's a slow build, but seeing stuff like last week really got me stoked and excited to come back again this week and keep delivering. So, I wish we had our guy here, to complete the triple threat, but you know how it goes, man. We got each other's back, so we will do our thing, and like I said, hopefully he'll join us later on today. If not, he'll definitely be back doing the thing next week. So, because I know everyone's wondering how he did with the Wendy's chili, and I want to know as well. So hopefully he can come in and let us know what's going on with that. But D'Lo, man, how's it going?
It's going. It's another day, another recording session for 154. I said it beautifully, couldn't say it better myself. The algorithms, that's the key word, ladies and gentlemen, JDs and Lettlemen. For sure, like it's obviously working as we progress and build this thing brick by brick, and we just came off our strongest episode. And I think the most important thing is like us three are getting more comfortable behind the mic after having that like 400 plus days off. You are, kind of gets a little intimidating, even though if you've been doing it for a few years, it gets a little intimidating once you hit that record button, you see that red light on, and then you have the mic in front of you, and you kind of get frozen up a little bit. Just getting more comfortable behind the mic, and then just I guess the what's the word? Not continuity, but the comfortabilityness. That's a Dylanism. That's not a word. But I can't think of the word, Bobby. But we're gelling. Let's just use that word for lack of a better one. We're gelling together, and we're having a good time doing it.
100%, man. It's been a blast being back. We talk about it every week. I was really missed having this. Part of my weekly activities and stuff, and just we were talking about pre-production with our guests. This is legitimately when me, you, and Joe play catch up and find out how everything's going and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to kind of do that for everybody, for the people, and all that good stuff. So we'll keep rolling, we'll keep building this stuff, and I think the thing that's helping us lately, this go around, is we're just doing a little bit more, effort, or giving a little more effort than we did the last go around. With just certain things we're doing as far as on the socials, like cutting and posting clips. And I think that kind of helps bring people in, especially if we're talking about something interesting that week, whether it be, like I said, people around my way were really into the soup competition talk. And then we got into last week, moon homes. Like I said, the Around the Mill with Dill was one of the things we wanted to kind of keep and roll over from the last iteration of this show, because a lot of people are busy like us, so they don't get to see what's rolling around in the news feeds, or kind of avoid that kind of stuff, because honestly, there seems to be a lot more bad than good stuff in the news world anymore. So some people kind of avoid that stuff, because because we got a story later coming in the mill, a local one out of Toledo, and I went to scroll on the 13 ABC site to find it, and you've seen a lot more fucked up shit on that side of things before you find the good stuff. But anyways, back for 154. We got a jam-packed show. But right out the gate, I do gotta say something though. I am, this week's for my little Sunday football crockpot banger special. I was kind of flipping around trying to figure out what I was gonna make this week. I got them chicken leg quarters, but I was like, it's gonna be kind of rainy and shitty out all weekend, so I want to stay inside. I'm on the 4th week of just me doing something every goddamn weekend. So today on Sunday after record, I just want to fucking melt in my couch and watch football for 7 hours before I got to go back to the grind. So I was like, what better way than to throw some shit in a crock pot and let it cook up for 4 or 5 hours, and you got that ready to go. But I'm making a bacon cheeseburger soup, and we'll get into a little more of that later. But I ran out of milk. Didn't know that. I just went to the grocery store on Friday too, and milk is one of those things where you just kind of assume you got it, at least in this house. So I made that assumption, was wrong. So I had to jump on, and I couldn't, because we had to record, and I got Jax with me, so I didn't want to have to pop out, even though I got a Dollar General's, and I got a little grocery store here in town, 2 minutes away from me. I just didn't feel like leaving the house, so I DoorDashed some shit. And of course, they never tell you what's available and what's not. So I put a order in for I think a half gallon of milk and a few other things, because you have to reach a certain threshold before they'll deliver the shit. I think it's like,
oh yeah,
to get like the free delivery or whatever the fuck. So I had some other miscellaneous bullshit. I got a couple of like snacks and shit that I'll let Jax have later. I got him Nerds rope and stuff he'll be stoked about. But the Dasher gets there, and they're starting the whole process, because you get all the notifications and shit. And all of a sudden I get a message directly from the Dasher saying, hey, they're completely out of milk. And then she sent me a picture of the cooler, and sure enough, like, there was not a fucking gallon of any size, or half gallon of any kind there. So I asked, because I only need a cup of milk for this recipe. So I was like, I can maybe just get a small bottle, and then I'll, later today or something, maybe I'll pop out to Dollar General, have Tori stop on the way home. But no milk of any kind other than Nesquik chocolate milk. So she's like, all right, I'm going to refund you the gallon of milk since they don't have it. and I'm gonna pop over to the next store and I'll get you one, which um it's pretty fucking cool. You know what I mean? Because that's not something that I ordered through door. I ordered it from that specific store. So once you refund it, it's over with. But she took the extra time to go one more store over to get me milk. And we had a little dialogue there. And she's like, yeah, like I get, not having milk or something. Like I got grandkids and stuff. So I'm always having to replenish and stuff. So not having it, I definitely get, how annoying that could be. So she went the extra mile and, got me the milk that I needed, brought that over here. So I found out, excuse me, that I guess after the fact on DoorDash, you can tip on top of what you already tipped. I've never done that before because you fucking are already tipping them before you even place the order. So I'm like, why the fuck?
Right.
But in this instance, I took the money that got refunded for that milk and just tossed the extra because it was like fucking almost $5. It's like $4.80 for a gallon of milk through DoorDash, of course. So I took that extra $4.80 and just tossed that right on top of what she did because that was pretty awesome, man. Because I was telling you that like I don't really use DoorDash as much as I did like 2-3 years ago. I think probably everyone's kind of in the same boat, especially when you had to fucking stay home every day. It was a fucking phenomenal thing to have. But once they started jacking prices up, it was kind of like I'll just make the fucking trip. But I've had some occasions where like people would take the food and stuff that I bought, excuse me, and say that they delivered it and it never fucking showed up, and then they're off with the $60 and whatever the fuck Applebee's or whatever I ordered. And I'm,
Yeah.
I mean, you got your refund and shit, but still, it's like you're sitting there fucking starving, pissed off, wondering what
Right.
the fuck happened. Can't trust anyone ever again. Your whole family. So, it was cool to have one of them scenarios via DoorDash where they did something, they went the extra mile, man. So shout out. Her name was Ryan. I thought it was a dude the whole time, but ended up being a girl. So I guess, and I know there are some.
Can't assume in today's age.
There. Yeah. So shout out to Ryan. That was a cool little thing that just happened just this morning. So I had to make sure to give a shout out in the rare case that somehow we get into her newsfeed someday.
Hell yeah, dude. Shout out Ryan in the Genoa area DoorDash. Yeah. But I guess on my side of things, my quick story that I had was fell asleep on the couch, right? Passed out. Watched the USC Notre Dame game. Had some little bit of cash, a little bit of skin in the game on that. And it wasn't going in my favor. So I passed out on the couch and lo and behold, get a fucking doorbell ring and knock on my door at like 11:45 p.m. What the fuck is this? I checked the Ring door cam. It's the fucking cops. All right. Got 2 fucking police officers at my fucking door. So I walk outside. I'm like all fucking glossy eyed because I just woke up from a goddamn slumber. And I'm like, what can I do for you, officers? And he's like, I guess the neighbors across the street called the cops because they saw suspicious activity in a little cul-de-sac area where there was this black sedan kind of lurking around. And my fucking Ring device didn't pick any of this up, so I'm just taking the officer's word for this. But we've been having trouble, not in my neighborhood, but the neighborhood next to us. I guess they've been having break-ins in automobiles. And so I guess because of that, they might have called for suspicious activity related to that. But there's a sedan that kind of went around our cul-de-sac, did a UE, and then apparently they also saw something. I don't know if it was just their imagination or whatever, because my Ring device definitely would have caught this. They ran across my front yard into my backyard, and they were just making sure that, if I didn't see anything or saw anything suspicious, and I was like, no, I was passed out. And they wanted to see if my Ring device picked up anything because they noticed that it was recording once they were walking up. And unfortunately, it didn't because it usually picks up from like 20 feet away. It doesn't really reach all the way out to the road. Maybe there's a setting I can change that where the sensitivity is increased, but it picks up the garbage man at the curb. So it definitely would have picked up like a person running in my front yard. Unfortunately, it did not. But anyways, then Jen was kind of like paranoid the rest of the night and she couldn't fall asleep because lo and behold, our garage door was wide open and the door to our house from the garage was unlocked. So she was like, that someone could have came in and slaughtered our family. And yeah, so I was like, that's a bit much, but I went right back to bed.
Damn, man, that's wild. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't the ladder there. That would have been crazy.
Me too. 154 would have only been you. At this
Yeah,
point.
man, I would have run solo. But yeah, I got one more just wild and random story that I've been enduring, and then we're gonna bring our guest on for 154. But like 4 weeks ago, there's a 4 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I hit up Cleveland to go to a comedy show with some friends, and we hit the concession stands. And this part of Cleveland that we're at, where the Masonic is at, there's just not shit to eat. So we didn't get to eat anything around there, and we just we popped in. So they were selling hot dogs and shit. So I was like, I'll get a couple hot dogs, and then I don't really, you know me, man. I'm not a big drinker, so I was like, I'm just gonna get me a Diet Coke, and we'll be chilling. So I take a couple bites of the hot dog, open up the can of Coke, take a sip, and it just tastes off to me. Can't really describe it, but the flavor was just off. So I look under the can, fucker's expired. My fucker probably expired. I think it was like August or July of this year, and the taste was off. So I had to go back. I went up there, and then they must have just bought like cases from like a Sam's Club or a Costco, because they are all that same fucking date, every single one of them. So I just took I might have took a full flavor Coke or something. That one was a good date and shit. So that started a wild 3-week streak that I've been going on. Following week, my work, they order us lunch, they cater us lunch, we having pizza and shit. They got drinks in the cooler. I pull out a Coke Zero, take a drink of that. Tastes fucking off. Look at the date. Expired. Expired by like 6 months. So I mean, what the fuck, man? So I get another pop. It is what it is, and we go on and we go forth. Lunch gets catered again. Go to work. Pop out of the cooler. Whole different. I think it was just Diet Coke this time. Tastes like shit. Look under the can. Fucking expired. And then we have a vending machine on site. I bought one this week because I had forgot. Usually I'll toss like a energy drink in my lunch bag, or like a can of pop or something just to have with lunch. Forgot to, so I was like, all right, I'll just get a Diet Pepsi out of the machine there, because unfortunately that's what we got. I'm not a big Diet Pepsi guy, but get one of those, and those are like $2 now for a 20 ounce, which is fucking stupid. Pop that out, take a drink. It's pretty much fucking flat. Look at that. It's like December of 2022. I'm like, dude.
Well,
So I don't know. Somebody's put some sort of weird hex on me, man, where like I can't drink a pop that is of this fucking time frame, where it's fresh and crisp in how it's supposed to taste. So I don't know, man. I don't know if somebody's like got some sort of weird doll, or this is a sign from God, like, all right, maybe you need to just like drink water forever. Not that I don't really I drink like a pop, like a can of pop with like my meal, and that's it. Like, I'm not just fucking sucking down pop all day. But I don't know, man. Somebody out there just doesn't want me to have, or is trying to fucking like steer me away, or is cursing me. So
damn.
I had to bring that up, man. I'm hoping it ends, because it is like a 3-week in a row fucking streak, and I'm really hoping that it ends. Yeah, big time. But I just had to fit that in there. But anyways, we got our guest sitting on the sidelines, waiting, ready to go. We've actually tried to get him on quite a few times over the years. I just haven't been able to line it up. Finally can line it up, and for good reason. We're going to be talking some youth wrestling. And we got a guy here that is behind the scenes running the show, going to put on some tournaments and all kinds of good stuff for the youth around the way here. And we're going to get into that and a few other things. I got a couple text messages here. We may be actually even having a little dialogue with a former guest, great friend of the show, Paul Tipulator, and we'll see what's going on. But for right now, episode 154, we have with us today my guy, Chad Stahl. Chad,
hey guys,
thanks
how's it
for being
going?
patient. Thanks for waiting and let us do our thing there. We had a couple of, like I told you before, when we have guests on, we have these little technical issues and shit. on the side that we were dealing with, but you've been patient, and we appreciate it. And it's great to finally have you on, man.
Yeah, great to be here, guys, and I appreciate you guys having me on.
But yeah, later on after we talk, business stuff, I think we are going to get old Paul Tippy on. Dylan, do you need me to send the number, or do you have his on file? Let me know on that while you're looking that up, though. But yeah, like I said, Chad, we got you on for a great reason because you're putting in the work there, boots on the ground, trying to get youth wrestling, I guess off the ground, maybe you'd say a little bit around here because I know high school wrestling and stuff is a pretty big deal, but you don't really see a whole lot of talk about youth wrestling. And I even see you guys are trying to get female wrestling and stuff going too, which is pretty cool. And I guess we'll just kind of start with why you wanted to get involved because you're pretty busy dude as is. You got kids that are doing multiple sports and stuff to try to shoehorn even more stuff involving other people's children. It seems to be like a daunting task, man. But I guess yeah, man, why'd you want to get started with all this?
Well, I knew that I was going to be involved in youth wrestling again in some capacity as soon as we got an ultrasound that confirmed that I was going to have a son. So about the time he started to be of age to get into biddy wrestling, I started looking around. My daughter had already been enrolled at Lake, but Lake was no longer doing biddy wrestling, at least not for that young. So we started out at Lake Erie, which is Clay's biddy program, which is also a great program. And then I talked to Tom Jackson, and he said that the Hummel brothers were going to be heading up, restarting the Lake biddy wrestling program. And then something happened. I think John got a new job where his work was going to be more demanding. So Mark asked me if I wanted to head it up. And that was the start of the Lake Junior Flyer Wrestling Club. We have 4-year-olds all the way up to 12-year-olds in our room. And right out of the gate, the first year we had 60 plus kids, all brand new first year wrestlers pretty much, with the exception of 2 kids. And then the second year we actually had around 85 kids. That's when we instituted a 5U program we call Flight School, so that they can kind of learn how to learn and be in a safer environment, so they're not rolling around next to 150-pound 12-year-old. And really, honestly, it's kind of a hobby to me. It's an outlet. I'm pretty dedicated to it. I spend a decent amount of time thinking about or researching or networking in the wrestling community because I just want to be the best coach I can be for the kids. I want my son to grow and others to grow around him and with him. So
nice. He did send me a couple photos and links to a video. I want you to be kind of like the conductor of when you want those posted up during different talking points. You don't have to go through it all at once or anything like that, but you just let me know.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll start out by saying I'm not the most knowledgeable about wrestling. I mean, I know your basic wrestling. I know aggression. I know athleticism. I think I do a more than good enough job at the biddy level, but I also know that the world's changing. Social media, TikTok, wrestling's not growing like other sports, so you have to adapt. And that's why I started, filming things, taking pictures, putting them with cool music, and started a TikTok, to get more eyes on not only my son, but youth wrestling and how cool it can be in general, if you'd want to throw that up.
Yeah, the TikTok video?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I get this here.
Yeah, I mean, there's other people around doing this around the country, but nobody in Northwest Ohio, it seems like.
Listen to my 9mm go bang. Wa-da-da-dang, wa-da-da-da-dang. Hey, this is KRS-One. They knew a crack dealer by the name of Peter. Had had to buck him down with my 9mm. He said I had his girl, I said, now what to you, stupid? But he tried to play me out, and KRS-One knew it. He reached for his pistol, but it was just a waste, cause my 9mm was up against his face. He pulled his pistol anyway, and I filled him full of lead. But just before he fell to the ground, this is what I said. Why da da dang, why da 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 dang. Hey, listen to my 9mm go bang. Why da da dang.
Yeah, so just stuff like that. I mean, it's fun for me to do, and it gets more eyes on the sport. You know, whenever I'm recruiting kids, you know, asking them, you know, at school function or something like, hey, do you play a winter sport? You know, you ought to try wrestling. It's real fun. I'll open that and I'll show them, you know, trophies that kids that I've coached win, or those TikTok videos. And I think a lot of why we have had good numbers is, you know, that kind of outreach. You know, I put all the kids' names on the announcements every Monday morning if they've placed a tournament. That's something they look forward to, and pretty much trying to build a culture at Lake from the ground up, from the biddy on up to the high school. We've got great parents and coaches and kids in the middle school and the high school. So I'm just trying to do my part so that the next crop of kids that come behind my own son, you know, are left with something more than I had, or that these kids had.
I like that, man.
So,
go ahead, Dylan. Sorry.
oh, you're good. I was just going to say you're setting a good foundation there, and a nice saying that we have here on TSP is brick by brick. And something I did notice on that video is that you'll be bringing home some hardware. So, like, that has to be a great feeling too. Just, you know, not only starting the foundation now, but building off of like this, I guess, the attitude. And I guess what's the word? I keep having brain farts on this podcast, but you're bringing home hardware. How is that going for like the little guys, kind of like feeling the success?
Well, at that age, it's difficult because that really is the only thing they realize is the marker for success is if they come home with an award. But I'm a firm believer that you got to celebrate little victories, especially in a sport like wrestling.
Like that.
You know, go out there and you can't control what your opponent does. You can only be as prepared as you can be, and no one can ask you to do more than what you're capable of. So if you go out there and you fight your best, that's a win, you know. CJ, my son, stepped up to the 8U at the Ohio State Fair this year and was wrestling and giving up a couple of pounds, but so young man in the bracket got demolished by two separate state champions. He was crying after the match. You know, thought I was going to be disappointed or thought it was a bad match. And I was like, dude, that was the best I've ever seen you wrestle. You know, you were getting after it. And, you know, you fought as hard as you could. There's nothing you can do if you get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all the hardware is awesome. And that will get kids in the door. Oh, hey, I want to win that too. But you really, there's a saying in wrestling to trust the process and you got to embrace the suck and stuff like that. So the process is what you eventually want to teach the kids or foster the kids falling in love with, because you can't have the results without the work, and that's something that a lot of people don't understand all the time. You know, they think that just everybody gets an award, but in wrestling, that's what I like about it is, you know, it's only you out there, and the better man wins or woman.
It's true. And culture was the word I was looking for. You're creating a great culture. Sorry, Bobby, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. Before we get into you know, the endeavors and tournament stuff that you're getting ready to put on, because we got parents out there that are listening and watching. So, you know, why would somebody want their kid to get into wrestling, and you know, at a young age, and what do you think the benefits are to that?
Well, wrestling's a virtue builder. I mean, what I say, you know, to the parents and to anybody that's on the fence about wrestling is that me or anybody else that's wrestled, we're still using lessons or tactics that we learned in wrestling in real life. If something happens at work, an obstacle, you know, comes up, we don't flip out and, you know, lose our heads. You know, we can gather ourselves, sidestep, and take an angle and, you know, attack the problem. It'll teach you exactly what I was just talking about with, you know, success coming at the cost of work. You know, you don't get anything in this sport unless you put it in. So And that's a hard lesson to learn at a young age, but I wish that maybe I would have learned that lesson a little younger in my life. So,
Okay. Another thing too, I know that a lot of people were concerned about is, you know, at least back in our day, you'd hear stories and rumors of, you know, some of the extreme like weight cutting, you know, to make sure you make weight for that week's tournament or whatever. I've heard that a lot of that stuff is kind of out the window now. So just for, I just asking from the end of the parents that are sitting there like that have maybe our age that have heard those kind of horror stories, like if you can kind of touch on that as well.
yeah, there are people at every level that are cutting weight. There are rules in place at different levels to avoid, you know, a severe unhealthy weight cut. In high school, you have to weigh in for like your baseline, and then you can't rise above or below that during the course of the season. During youth, I would never ask anyone to cut. You know, if you're 0.3 over and you think you can, you know, make it from just going for a jog, then yeah, we'll try to get you under, because the next weight class up might be 15 pounds up. And if you're 6 years old, you know, 15 pounds is a lot. But there's no, I mean, my son's not on any sort of special diet. He doesn't eat. He eats like any other 7-year-old kid, because they are kids. And you do have to make it about fun. I think a lot of times I'm a little too serious about it. And we do have a lot of fun in the wrestling room. Tournaments are fun. I just enjoy wrestling and the entire wrestling community. I've met a lot of great people. Learned a lot from a lot of coaches around the area. We go to open mats at eight or nine clubs around Northwest Ohio. If it's drivable and if it's going to be a good room and if it's a good coach that I can learn from as well, then we want to be there. And that's helped me tremendously. You know, if I need any advice, if I need help with something, if we need to get ready for a tournament, you know, my son, during the summer and someone's having open mats, we're always welcome, you know, where we have friends. You're seeing these people every Sunday for 3 months straight for 8 hours a Sunday. So you're going to get to know them. So I like to network.
I'm glad you said that too, because one thing I remember just noticing is that, like, as far as the wrestlers in general, they kind of had like a camaraderie or a brotherhood that you wouldn't see with the basketball team or, you know, a volleyball squad. Like those guys, like you guys go through, you know, I guess war together, you know, in a sense, and going through some vigorous, you know, training and conditioning and stuff. So that's going to strengthen, you know, a bond amongst those guys too. So that's one thing I've always noticed with, you know, wrestlers and stuff, especially all you guys that I know that I'm friends with that came from that background. Like, you know, that's definitely, you kind of see a lot of stuff is still instilled in you to this day, you know, years later.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it'll teach you to have principles and discipline as well. And you're right. You know, it's kind of like a brothers in arms type of thing. Even if you're not particularly friendly with someone, you know, if you grew up wrestling with them, you guys kind of shared a common experience where you were broken a little bit and reforge, you know, in order to meet a goal. I've got a great group of coaches around me. I mean, once we put the word out that we were restarting Lake, Brandon Piper has been a huge help, as well as his wife, Angela. Dusty Fincher. These are all guys that I wrestled with. Richard Stuck is someone that didn't go to Lake, but has also been a great help. And I even pulled Danny Tarver out of hiding, and he runs our 5U flight school. He's on the wall, state placer, so that was a huge pickup. And he's been a lot of help as well, as far as like tactical ability. He's able to explain things really well to the kids. And then, of course, Mark and Paul up at the varsity, Anthony McGeorge. These are all guys that grew up wrestling for Lake. So that's why I think things are, you know, catching fire there as far as culture goes, is because we all grew up together and we all want a common goal.
Yeah, I mean, that list of guys that you listed off, I mean, obviously everyone's not going to recognize the names. These are guys that we went to school with and he wrestled with, but you know, the amount of experience in years doing that stuff is, you know, unfathomable. It's just a lot, especially, you know, Dan Tarver is somebody out there that was, you know, one of the better guys to come out of Lake. So to have him, you know, teaching the younger kids is definitely a big tool, and that helped big time. But let's get into some of the stuff you're working on now. I don't know if you want to get into what you're working on with Vantage, or if we want to touch on the Maverick. We can do, whatever you want to do here, man.
Well, if you want to throw that Vantage logo up, a couple of weeks ago, my brother and I, who's been a huge help to me also, probably more so than anybody in this whole wrestling team, coaching, organizing journey, and it more so when I came to my tournament, he helped me plan the whole thing. So we wanted to do more tournaments. We reached out to Vantage, who is our gear supplier. They're based in Fremont, Ohio. I think they've got the best quality gear that I've used personally. That's who our team store is through. They put on a lot of great events, Ohio Prospect Camp. They're heavily involved in building Northwest Ohio wrestling and the culture around it. I reached out and asked if they'd like to get involved in our tournament, the Maverick, and sat down and had a meeting with them, and they agreed. We're going to do it big. If you want to throw the flyer up, this is the first time we're showing the flyer after it's been semi-finalized for this year's Maverick. Vantage is on again, or is coming on as a title sponsor. They'll have merchandise there, and they'll be taking over our Maverick t-shirts, also for sale on site. In return, they'll help us promote it and grow the event. When Mark Hummel, the varsity coach at Lake, told me we were going to run a biddy tournament last year. It was last August, maybe. It was like a dream come true. I've always wanted to run a tournament. He suggested we call it the Lake Biddy Tournament, and I said, I'm not running the Lake Biddy Tournament. We're going to have to do this, do this big. And, Top Gun Maverick had just come out. We're the Flyers. It just fit. And instantly, I built a picture of all the details in my head. It's like I've been thinking about it for years. We've also got Tracy King and Ellis Inc. as sponsors. They helped us out big time last year. Tracy is who I go to for my tattoos and all of our wrestling related graphics. He did this year's flyer, last year's flyer, our logo, the Maverick logo. If you want to throw up the medals from last year, that'd be great. So we're going to do it even bigger than we did it last year. These are the medals from last year, but we are going to do something new, bigger and better for this year. We're working with Southern Respect and Charles Compton on that. He's been huge for that tournament as well. When Mark presented it to me, like I said, it was like a dream come true. And I just wanted to take everything that I've learned from other tournaments, the successes and failures of them, and run the perfect tournament. How would I run a tournament? Because everyone's got, an opinion. Oh, they should have done this. They should have done that. Do it then and see if that works. Because it's a tough endeavor. I mean, we had 378 kids from 6 states last year, 11 of them named Maverick. And it's a lot going on in a 6 to 7 hour span. So we just wanted to do it big. Like people haven't done it around here. We've been going to these New Way events, which are like national level youth tournaments. And they've got the cool awards, which everybody loves the cool awards. They promo it, drop videos leading up to it or cool flyers. And I just wanted to do it different and set it apart.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I remember you brought it to us and kind of gave us your thoughts and kind of how you were picturing how it'd go. We definitely we're digging it, and then to kind of make it a reality. I mean, starting off with just the fact that you're using fighter jets as the medals is really cool. I mean, that makes it stand out instead of just usual. I mean, getting a medal itself is cool, but when it kind of matches the whole, when everything's themed and comes together, that's pretty cool. And then last year, I know you said you had, I believe you had BCSN come and tape some stuff, which was really cool. I know that had been really awesome for the kids and probably even for the parents. And I know that I remember you saying people could buy the footage or whatever through BCSN, I believe, or could
you could order.
I remember something.
They call it like a game ticket or something. You buy a ticket to watch a past event. We covered the 10U and the 12U finals, and it was huge. The kids really loved it. We did fail in some areas. We were running a little behind schedule, but we still got the tournament in, and it was a success, I believe, and from what I've been told and talked to other people about, they enjoyed coming. They'll be back. We had teams from 3-4 hours away, and then we had a kid from West Virginia, a couple kids from Illinois. I'm hoping to bring some more traveling kids around. I want to grow it into the biggest non-state or state qualifying tournament in at least Northwest Ohio, if not Ohio. We're gaining traction. We're going to do it even bigger this year. I'm going to add a couple more things in that the kids are going to love. I mean, we're going to do a Parade of Champions, I think, where the kids will walk across the mat and be introduced as a club, which is an idea I got from another local tournament. So I've just pulled ideas from everywhere and what seems to be cool and ask questions. What do people want to see? I mean, I remember last year, a lot of times tournaments won't drop their entry list because they don't, if it's a low entries, they don't want people to be scared away from a last minute sign up. But my brother told me we should drop ours because we had some really heavy hitters from the area and from outside the area. And we kind of did some guerrilla promo on the internet. I posted the matrix and said, tired of seeing the same kids every week. There's an alternative. And then posted the entry list so you could see what you were up against. And in wrestling, you want anybody who's a higher level wrestler is going to want to wrestle higher level kids so they can see where they're at.
Sure.
Yeah, something about those medals was that it's very unique, and I do definitely like them because you know exactly where you got them. And for like the kids that win them now, like from years from now, are going to know exactly where they got that medal from and remember that experience as you build this going forward. And there's that's kind of different from other places because I know like when I was in track, I never wrestled or anything, but winning medals and like ribbons and stuff like that from track invitationals, I know. Congratulations on all my success. But I could look at those and be like, I have no idea where I got that from. They don't have like a name or anything, just a standard Dollar General medal, But with these, they're unique. The kids are going to love them, and they're going to know exactly where they got that from years from now when they look back at it.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted. We want them coming back, next year and bringing their friends with them. I again with the guerrilla promotion, I was on every forum you could get, posting my flyer last year, and my theory behind it was it was going to annoy people, but you can come discuss it with me, January 14th at Lake High School at the Maverick Invitational. You're going to know about it either way.
I don't know if you already have the national anthem set up, but I mean, Dylan's got a great set of pipes. Something to think about, little TSP Maverick collab there. So
we were gonna have James come in and do it again. He did it kind of off in the corner last year, and a lot of people didn't know that it was him playing. So next year we're going to put him out in the center of the mats, spotlight style, if I can swing it, and watch him shred out there. So, and just experiences like that, that's the cool wrestling tournaments. So after the Maverick, my brother and I, we started, just spitballing ideas for tournaments, and then kind of formed, we call it Renegade Wrestling Tournaments. We're hoping to run more tournaments for other schools and independently, which brings me to my next talking point. I don't have any graphic on it or anything, but Vantage, the gear supplier from earlier that's sponsoring the Maverick, the owner, Devin, great guy, is really committed to growing wrestling in Northwest Ohio, and we talked about some ideas that we had that we were going to kind of collaborate on. And I think in the spring, we're going to run a showcase style event sponsored by Vantage. Don't have a date yet. I'm thinking April. So it's after the state tournament. But how it works is wrestling training centers will do this to raise money for their athletes that are training for, the Olympics. But you'll apply to be on there. You'll list your accomplishments, your age, your weight, your name, any notable wins, and then we'll pool that and pull good matchups out of it. And then you'll wrestle one match. You'll pick, your entry music, a couple facts about you. What do you like about wrestling? Vantage is going to make them singlets to wear, and it'll be a whole big production. We're hoping to get something involved with live streaming with that as well, so we can broadcast that over the internet so nobody's left out that can't make it. But we're hoping that's a huge thing for the area, because I don't think anything like that's been done, where you can just independently apply you're matched up, and it's like a promoted kind of like a UFC fight card where, this person versus this person versus this person. And then, on the day, it's, there's lighting, there's music. It'll be a cool experience. And that won't just be youth. I'll take high school kids for that as well, if I'm allowed to after the state tournament. Because I think that would be great for wrestling in general. It's catching on in Northeast Ohio and Southern Ohio, Cincinnati area and Cleveland area have been doing it. So why not us? We've got talent to showcase around here. We got a lot of great clubs and coaches, families, and wrestlers. And I'm just trying to do a little more to push the area.
I like that, man. Tip of the cap, very admirable. Because as we all know, there's a lot of people out there in all facets of life that can talk the talk, absolutely talk the talk all day long. They won't even take the first step. And you got your hands, deep in that cookie jar and making things happen. And like I said, the thing is like you're legitimately doing it for the kids, man. Like this is something that this isn't something where you gain some sort of personal thing.
I'd be lying if I didn't say it wasn't a sense of pride. I mean, this, like I said, this is a hobby for me, and it keeps my mind occupied and gives me purpose. It's what I enjoy doing. I mean, I love running these tournaments. I love being around wrestling. I love doing it with my son and my son's friends. I get to do it with my brother and all the people I grew up with. So wrestling pulled me out of a pretty dark place mid-COVID. So this opportunity meant a lot to me to start with Lake and build to where we're at.
I like it, man. Yeah, like Dylan said, and we stole our credo from Barstool, but the brick by brick is what we talk about. And whether it's it's gonna be a slow build, but just keep doing your thing, man. And I think we'll be seeing you guys on the big stage in the future, and we can't wait. And hopefully at some point, we'll have to get, maybe even for the Maverick, man, maybe we'll have to get a TSP insignia somewhere over there, and that'll help us help you, or and vice versa.
Hey, I'm actually looking to get a podcast involved with the tournament in an interviewing capacity. So if that's something you guys would like to help out with, we can work something out.
Do a live on location.
That's what I'm saying.
We could do that.
Especially,
but also, if I don't get the privilege to do the national anthem, I would have no problem being your Bruce Buffer for these events. So.
Oh, okay.
I can get a nice fancy suit from Men's Warehouse.
Yeah,
we could definitely work something out.
There it is, baby.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Turn the reverb up a little bit.
Yeah, I like that, man. I like that a lot. But I got one more question. But while we're doing that, Dylan, if you want to set up this little phone call after we get through the business portion. But for the folks that maybe want to get more information or want to figure out how they can get their kid involved or themselves involved, what are the ways to contact? What pages can they possibly join or follow? Let that information go, man.
Well, we do have a Facebook group for the Lake Junior Flyer Wrestling Club. It is a private group, but I have shared the link on my personal Facebook, Chad Anthony Stahl Sr., if you want to look me up. There's also a QR code that will go home with the kids on their sign-up forms. It also went on the pre-sign-up forms last week. The Facebook page is the best way to keep up on information as it pertains to Junior Flyer Wrestling Club and the Maverick. There'll be a Renegade Wrestling Tournaments website up here shortly with more information about that aspect. And I'll, as always, be doing my guerrilla promotion with the Maverick Invitational. And, it will be everywhere. It'll be at 7-Eleven, hung up in the window, and the skillet. You've got to cast it wide net.
Yeah, and of course, reach out to me or Dylan if you're listening and watching. You guys got interest. You got, maybe you want to get your kid involved, or you want to talk to Chad and get some more info. Reach out to us, and we will get that over to Chad, or make sure you get a direct a link to him and discuss it furthermore. But Chad, now that we got the business out of the way, there were some things you wanted to address, because we had a friend of ours on way back. in our first year, I think it was our 8th episode. We had a gentleman named Paul Tippy on, and there were some comments made about you, good 2 or 3 years ago, that you wanted to address, and we wanted to give you the floor to do that.
I mean, we got Paul on the line.
Yeah, I'm here.
Paul, man,
There it is.
My man?
Friend of show, guest at one point way back in time. Paul Tibby's on with us. Paul, our guy here, Chad, he said he wanted to address a few things pertaining to some comments made by you.
Paul, I don't know if
he's been harboring this stuff for a while. I can tell.
Yeah.
What's this I hear about pie crust? I mean, I don't think this looks like pie crust. I don't think these look like pie crust. So if you want to call me up, go ahead.
I call you croissant now. You've improved your flakiness a little bit, you know. Croissant Stahl.
Minimum flakiness. I'm thick, the thickest of bread.
Yeah, I will say, hey, you've become old reliable. Mostly, I'll say this though. Like, I feel like back in the day, I would live up to what I was saying, and then next nowadays, it's like, I don't know what happens when you get older. You're just like, I'm not.
Well, we're growing up, man. We got all these kids, man.
That's what it is, isn't it?
Blame the children.
Listen, the pie crust thing, though. You did that to yourself. I mean, there was a wedding. There's a wedding that was missed. There's a couple things, and me and Bob just spitballing, man. And I stand by that at the time for sure.
Also, we're pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Paul downed a whole bottle of bourbon throughout the episode. So
I think I'm still the drunkest guest of all time. Hey man, we were having a good time.
Yeah, man.
If I would have known, I would have woke up extra early and gotten into the bourbon again. No,
well,
I'm drinking
next week I'm talking shop.
But hey, go ahead.
No, you
air your grievances, Chad.
Yeah, please.
That was really my only grievance. And I think the people need to know that the opinion of a sub 6 footer that's masquerading
hey, listen here, dude.
as a 6 footer minimum is
I'm glad you brought this up because it needs to be addressed for the public. Those who are wondering, 5'11" and 3/4, okay, basically 6 foot, and anything in math you round up. I'm basically 6 foot, all right. 5'11" 3/4. That's all I've ever said. Okay, basically 6 foot. You round
the
up.
Shortest,
just like
the shortest of the freemen.
Okay, I'm sure, Chad, when you're with a woman and she asks a question, I bet you round up, pal.
So you always. I don't want to get into this on this particular podcast, but you always undersell. So.
That's smart.
Is there a theme to this podcast today? That's
yeah, it's youth wrestling in the Maverick Invitational, Paul.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh shoot, dude, cut it.
No, that's all right.
Gotta cut that.
I warned everyone it was a podcast for adults. So.
Okay. Gosh dang it, dude.
What's
I didn't know. No, just coffee today.
Just coffee.
Just coffee. Just kidding. We're getting into a second cup of coffee now. Gotta keep it going on Sunday, you know.
Yeah, man.
Hey, actually, I want to ask you guys, since we have a bunch of wrestling entertainment fans. I just right before you guys called, I saw a clip of a new movie with Zac Efron. I'm sure you guys already know about it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
The Iron Claw. Is that based on
the Von Erich family? They're a very, very prominent professional wrestling family.
It looks pretty sweet, dude.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Sweet. That dude from
me,
from the Bears in it.
Chad and the Loose Cannon. I think we're gonna try to catch it. So you might have to join us.
Let me know because I'll come. Yeah, I'll come check it out. The Loose Cannon.
Are you leery of him these days, or?
Oh, ever since he loose cannon my eyeball, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I should have sent that. I should have sent that picture.
Ever since he smacked me across my face when I was just trying to help him. I was just showing pictures of that yesterday, dude. My eye, like it's still now it has like a dark ring under it perpetually forever. You'll notice my left eye is a little bit darker than the right now. Ever since he accidentally, I'm doing the air quotes there, smacked me across my face hard as hell.
That was pre-payback for the croissant comment. You know what stalls?
Yeah, could be, man. The stalls.
Like, listen, okay. You guys sandbagged me the first time, and then the second time you're like, okay, now it's time to get him back. Brother for brother. We've been calling him the loose cannon and you pie crust. Didn't we call you like tomatoes?
No, you guys were the tomato boys over Luke's wedding. That was unavoidable, and Luke wasn't even mad about it, as mad as you guys were.
We weren't mad, but we loved poker.
Yeah, the susceptibility.
Yeah. You see, you did that all to yourself. You spoke that into.
I was the architect of my own demise.
Yeah, absolutely. You did it to yourself, and when you put it on the tee. Of course, Bobby and I are going to take a swing.
True.
You would do the same. You would do the same.
Better of you guys. Yeah, I guess with the whole sub 6 foot thing. But.
Yeah, man. After you polish off your cup of coffee, you jumping into Azeroth or whatever.
Dude, all right. So me and Dave, I tell you, we've been playing WoW again for like the first time in years. And we're playing that hard mode. So if you die, you're like dead. And David's impatient just transfers right over into that game, dude. And the other day he died at level 39. So we're in a grieving process now because we're like I'm like lost without my partner in Azeroth. So I don't know. Wrestling season's coming. I honestly don't even have time for it anymore. So I'm about done for a while anyway.
How much longer are you living you got Belle, but the bachelor life.
Ashley gets back Tuesday night. Belle just got back. I was. Oh,
so you were living the full on,
dude, and not one call to the Freeman, not one Freeman signal.
Wild,
yeah, you're living like that's like ascended Freeman status.
Yeah.
It was different, dude. But I mean, I did have kind of plans. Well, I kind of plans already anyway. So like, the wrestling cornhole tournament and play poker Friday night with my buddy. He's been asking forever, and I told him I'd play. And I actually thought I double booked myself. I still don't know if I did or not. Mark never gave me a straight answer if I was supposed to be at concessions or not. but he told me he was covered. But I still feel bad now. He made me feel bad yesterday. So. You
should have been there. You're a coach, man.
Hey, man.
That's fair.
Lay off. lay off, buddy. Come here, break, dude. Didn't you just hear what I said? I had a free weekend, dude. I haven't had that.
Yeah. Can't blame you.
I mean, honestly, I didn't do squat though, which was like the plan.
That's
it's kind of nice just to do nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ash and Sarah are living it up. She just called me. She's talking about doing an ice bath. I'm like, definitely get video of that because she does this like lower lip quiver thing, which and she can't control her lower lip. It was freaking funny. So I'm like, make sure you get that on film. Yeah, enough about me though. But yeah, call me when the Iron Claw comes out because that looks sweet. That dude from Shameless and the Bear and stuff like that. He's a good actor. He's in it.
MJF is in it, man. That's going to be the best of it.
He doesn't know who that is. He's a wrestler. He's a current day pro wrestler.
Name or just initials?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman. MJF.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's the AEW. He's a world heavyweight champ.
Just kidding. I don't know, dude. That didn't do anything for me.
But where do you go next Saturday, man? Jimmy's talking about maybe having the boys over because UFC's at 2 p.m. start time, which is always the best. So
yeah, I won't be able to. I'll be in Dayton. Bill's got
hang up,
soccer game and
Dylan.
stuff. So listen. Don't do
Get
it.
this guy out of here.
Don't hang up on me, dude. Listen. All right, you're not using my fryer then. He asked my fryer.
Yeah, and I'm the croissant.
I know James is he's like trying to coerce me into being like his personal chef for events, I think. So
yeah, well, hey, dude, you like Chad did it to himself. You've done it to yourself now. Last time you manned the grill like a boss for hours all by yourself.
yeah, for like 4 hours. Yeah,
dude, that was impressive, dude. And you did the thing.
What about the fish fry at James's?
Yeah, we need to do that. I need to get rid of this walleye, but I have that fryer and stuff, and James already asked to borrow it.
Dude, I don't know what it is, man. But every
fish
single big UFC event, you are out of town. It's crazy. The streak you're on.
I know. It seriously has not worked out in a while.
It's just the big ones too, but that's you just gotta do, man. But,
Pie crust, anyone?
Like McGregor Sugar Show.
What's that?
In December, is there like a McGregor and Sugar Show one?
I know they're trying to put that together.
I don't
I'm
know
not
if
sure it's
McGregor is
official or not.
beyond. I don't, because he just entered the testing pool, but now they're not.
Yeah.
They're getting rid of it, so I don't know what they're going to do with him.
He won't be able to fight until next year because they have USADA until January.
Yeah,
and there's no way he's fighting under USADA. I think that was a big dispute. And then so they're going to get a different organization to run the drug test now, I guess. But so Conor definitely won't be back until next year.
Yeah,
and then who knows even then. So
right.
But yeah, Paul, thanks for giving us a little bit of your time there, man. I know you're just jam packed this weekend. But Chad, like I said, that was one of the things he texted us during the week. Was like, hey, maybe we can get Paul on. I got to address a few things, and we had to let him do it.
Are you satisfied?
I like how I take satisfaction in knowing that now you are the pie crust with this whole. I'm always out of town. Ashley's got plans.
Oh,
I can't come to the UFC
think about that
event.
Oh my God, dude.
Pie crust Tippy.
Listen, dude. I'm still old reliable, dude. Gosh dang it.
Oh, turntables have
you are a reliable friend. You are a reliable.
Hey, dude. I love you, dude.
Love you too, Paul.
I love you guys, man. I love you guys.
Hey, man, back at you, dude. Great to talk to you, and appreciate it, man. Appreciate you coming on for a minute. So we'll be in touch.
Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, later.
See ya.
All right. Well, there we go. We got that out of the way. That was nice. We got to that was years in the making, actually. So
I wish I had actually prepared for it.
But Chad, we're gonna jump in the mill. I kind of explained what that was all about. I don't know. You're more than welcome to stay on and give some of your thoughts on these topics. But if you got to skate, we understand as well. So whatever you want to do, man.
I'll hang out for a little bit. I got a little bit of time.
Yeah. So
that's right with you guys.
Let's do it,
Absolutely.
man. You can be our third compadre. So let's run it.
Yes, sir.
There it is.
Always got to bring in that wheelchair spin, baby. We got a loaded around the mill session. Not Joe. Bobby, is my mic still staticky?
A little bit, actually. And Paul's audio, I don't know. Did you get any kind of like a little bit of static when Paul was on? I don't know if it's just me hearing that or
I was good on my end.
Okay.
Dylan was kind of choppy a little earlier, but
okay. That's what I was kind of catching too. So, I mean,
Well,
it's not terrible, but it's definitely it's a little noticeable when you talk. But
well, damn it, you know. Well, anyways,
it's just one of those
we got
days,
loaded.
man.
What's that?
It's just one of them days, man, for TSP.
It's one of them
It's just
days.
one
I
of
guess.
them
I'm not clipping or
days.
anything either, so I don't know what it could be. Maybe a loose cable around these neck of the woods. But anyways, we got around the mill and a loaded one at that for 154. We're going to go talk about a little bit more Netflix. We're piggybacking off of what we talked about last week and maybe the reason why they're raising prices altogether. We got a Little Caesars and goat rentals. Skittles are banned in California. Bigfoot sightings. Jada Pickett may have lost more than just her hair. And David Njoku burns. So let's get right into it. I guess we'll start with the Netflix right off the rip. Last week we talked about Netflix raising their subscription prices because we talked about three things that are for certain in life: death, taxes, Netflix raising their subscription prices randomly. This may not be so random. I guess they are doing a building, so to speak, a permanent building on location. They're going to call it the Netflix house. All right. And basically, I don't have any links or anything for this, but what they're trying to do is create where fans can immerse themselves in their favorite TV shows and movies and stuff. They can shop merch at these locations, and they can eat themed foods. I don't know what themed foods are, but maybe it's going to be more so foods from different shows or whatnot, or foods and meals that are related to their favorite shows, I should say. And also have a possible Squid Games obstacle course at these locations. So they're really pushing the Squid Games theme stuff. But yeah, they're trying to make this a global thing. I'm not too sure. They don't have much details as far as where it's going to be started at, but look out for those locations. Maybe that's the reason why they're increasing their subscriptions to pay off these future endeavors. But what are your guys' thoughts? Would you guys go if there was one nearby?
I guess it just depends on what they were trying to, charge at the gate there.
Right.
I don't know if I'm going to pay $60 to screw around in a Squid Games thing where I probably quite possibly could have some sort of heart aneurysm or any of the sort, but who knows? I think it'd be interesting to check out, especially if it's going to have different theme stuff, because I'm sure if they're going to have Squid Games, they're probably going to have, I don't know, Stranger Things is one of their bigger things that they got going on over there. So that'd probably be a big hit, and any of that kind of stuff. So that would be cool. So yeah, it just depends on where it'd be at, because I'm sure initially it's probably going to be like California, Florida type stuff before it came anywhere near Ohio. So yeah, depend.
Yeah, I don't think you'd see anything like that anywhere near where we live for quite a while. Anyhow, maybe Detroit or Cleveland, but
I could see Columbus maybe. They seem to try to be like the guinea pig of everything.
yeah, maybe even more so than Cleveland, honestly.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it would entail. It would be like kind of like a TV show themed David Buster's type deal. Maybe not so much arcade, but more of like TV show themed. Or
well, it seemed like those
stuff,
like those Mr. Beast pop ups. There's like a giant, like a gumball machine type thing, and people go up. It's like an influencer pop up deal. Is it going to be something like that, or?
That'd be kind of cool.
Okay.
See celebrities at these locations. Maybe they have like some kind of deal in place for that, because I know you have like Netflix contracts for this stuff. But
yeah,
that'd be cool, especially for
sure.
grand openings. But we move forward for more topics here. Bobby, you had a story for Toledo. Little Caesars shut down in Toledo, and they have a unusual sign.
Yeah. I can't remember. I had initially found a different story that I was on there, but just scrolling on 13 ABC, that immediately caught my eye, because when I've seen it first, I thought it said Toledo boat rental coming soon, which would make a hell of a lot more sense, because right here on the river, and people got their boats and whatnot. But it says glass rental coming soon on Lewis Avenue here in Toledo, which it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the story is even stranger if you want to play that video.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have an ad.
If you're considering purchasing an annuity, let's meet for 15 minutes before you make your final decision. In addition to providing you...
hit the little... Now you pause. You got to hit the little speaker thing, I think. Yeah, there you go. And then you can skip. Well, now you can skip, of course. Yeah, this owner apparently just fired all his people, and I'm on.
Went dark.
There we go.
Ready when you are.
Yep. Let's do it.
Franklin has the night off. Well, days after a Little Caesars suddenly closed, there's a new sign in the window, and it's creating quite a stir online. New at 11, 13 Action News reporter Tony Geftis is live to show us what's up with the sign. Tony.
It is anybody's guess at this point, Diane. Is it real? Is it to get attention? The sign says Glass City goat rental coming soon. One mom simply wants to know what's happening because her 3 kids work at this Little Caesars and they're out of a job.
The signs in front of the Little Caesars on Lewis near Sylvania say closed, but it's a sign in the window that's getting the most attention online. It says Glass City goat rental coming soon.
So my son went and worked his shift from 3 to 9. Everything was fine. He came home. He got a text message from his manager at 10:30 stating that the owner came. He had the locks changed on the doors, pushed everybody out the door, fired everyone, and the location remains closed.
Jody Banasak is the mother of 3 kids who all worked at this Little Caesars. That's until this past Sunday when Jody says the manager texted her son the pizza place closed.
He never got into any trouble. He rarely called off. He actually went to work and actually worked.
Now Jody wants to know what's going on. She's not alone. When 13 Action News posted a picture of this sign tonight, it racked up hundreds of shares on Facebook.
I'm sorry, the person you were trying to reach has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet.
The number to the restaurant gives no information. The store's website shows its hours are open Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, closed all day the rest of the week, and there was no response to our Facebook message.
Just to fire an entire staff with no notice and no just cause, it just doesn't sit well with us, and it impacts our neighborhood.
Now 13 Action News and many curious Toledoans are waiting to see whether this sign is real and what exactly the owner has in store.
I did get an email tonight from someone who claims to be the owner and said he's a brand strategist. There was still no clear explanation about the sign or the store closure. We're going to continue to keep you posted on this one. Diane?
Is it
Wild,
time
man.
to dump that old desk? Elevate
I don't know what to make of that, because Lewis Avenue in the middle of Toledo, it's not very rural,
No, the fact that he said that the guy was a brand strategist, like maybe it's like seeing how much of a stir that could cause in that area.
Sure.
Hey, the advertising works. I mean, people are reading the sign, but it does say something pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. So I caught that, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that lady and her kids have any sort of case, because I don't know. Can you a guy can just come in and be like, "Get the fuck out! Like, you're done."
I would think that he could close his franchise whenever, but it would be cool for Little Caesars to say, "Hey, we'll send you over to this store that's a block and a half away."
Or like some sort of, I mean, I don't know if like severance could even be a thing at a place like that, but.
Do you guys think that Tony Geftos is a straight player nowadays, or what? What's with his slick back hair? Dude, Tony Geftos is getting it done.
We just posted a video of his like a couple weeks ago. He does the Dine in 419 where he goes to all these restaurant stuff, and yeah, man, he's been rocking in Toledo for years, dude. He's the man.
Didn't he have a top knot for a little while? Like a little man bun? Dude, player.
Switching it up, dude. Rocking. What we got next, D-Lo?
Yeah, it does seem, though, my 2 cents on that situation was that it does seem like maybe he says he's a strategist. Maybe this is Little Caesar's way of strategizing some kind of goat cheese or something. I don't know. But either way, that is pretty wild. And maybe my speculation.
All right, fire everyone you have and put the sign up.
Send in the goat
cheese. We're going to use goat cheese now. No, but he might have received some kind of fucking bag in the middle of the night and being like, I can't turn down opportunity. He's like, all right, fuck this shit. I'm out of the pizza biz.
A goat head in his bed like the Godfather.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. But
we'll see. I'm going to try to, hopefully, like you said, they're going to try to keep tabs on that. So hopefully we'll start getting some answers going forward, because I'm very, very interested and invested in this development.
We definitely got to keep the TSPers alive and well for the people that are not in the Toledo area on this story. But California, people always have a destination when they think of like, where do you want to go visit? Where do you want to go move? California, maybe not in recent years, but it's always been like a talking point of like, oh, I wish I could go live there, visit there, whatever. But nice weather, but not really nice when it comes to banning things like gasoline vehicles. And now some people's favorite candy. Bobby, you sent me this story here that the Skittles candy is being banned in California. Can you give us more on this information?
That's the word that initially came out, but as people kind of unraveled and stuff, there was a bill that was passed in the state that they want to change some of the ingredients that are found in a lot of different snacks and candies and stuff. And I got the list here. It's brominated vegetable oil, potassium bromate, and a red dye number 3. So they want to, I guess, obviously that must be something pretty messed up with those. Even the whole people have been eating Skittles and all these other things for years on end. But it does say though that Skittles are exempt because I guess it doesn't have all 4 of them or something. So who knows? It looks like they'll be safe from any major changes. But I know there are a lot of products out there that have like the brominated vegetable oil and all different, the red dyes, in there. So, there could be some stuff taken off the shelf, or they're going to have to go back and revamp the recipes or whatever and see what's going on. Because for the longest time, I don't know the difference between Red 3. I've always heard of something about Red 40 in the past like year and a half. People like up in arms about that. So I don't know what the big differences are between Red 3 and Red 40. But apparently these food dyes are not too great. So but that was a big thing. I think I don't remember I seen that first, probably Twitter or some stupid shit. And I started doing my Googles and stuff, and that quickly became debunked. But
got you.
It was a little wild at first, man, because shit, Skittles rule.
Yeah, that would be crazy if they did ban the candy. I mean, I don't know. And that makes sense with ingredients and stuff, but it wouldn't surprise me being from California. They're trying to like ban everything over there, but
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
there's brominated vegetable oil in Mountain Dew. I have seen posts about that before in so many things. I don't know if it's a specific combination of those or them just being together, in their own capacities.
Yeah.
You look at ingredients on like Great Value stuff, like there's syrup. Like if you look on the back of the ingredients, it has like a disclaimer that it could have remaining traces of like codfish. I don't know if I saw that on TikTok, and I looked when I was at the store. I was like, "Holy shit, it is." Could have.
Yeah, or if you buy anything frozen, I mean, you got a whole ass novel on the back of them boxes when you get that ingredient list, and you can maybe pronounce 2 of the 1,000 words.
I mean, as long as it tastes good.
I mean, when you it's like avoid looking at that shit because you start.
Have you guys ever heard that all the Skittles are actually the same flavor, and your brain tells you what flavor it is by what color it is?
I have heard that. I don't believe it.
I don't know if I do either.
No way.
Because like orange and a lemon, like they're very distinct for like flavors,
right?
And I mean, yeah, I think I would be able to. And maybe we'll have to try that one time, Dylan, on here. One of us will have to get a pack of Skittles, and we'll just fucking pull out the color. We'll have our eyes closed. You pull out the color, pop it in there, and guess, and we'll see. We'll have to maybe see if we can debunk that. Keep that one in mind.
Ooh. Yeah, blind taste them or something.
Yeah, we'll see if that's a true thing or not.
The Pepsi challenge, if you will.
Another thing that we have for the mill is that there was a sighting, and this was a video that surfaced on the Twitter, or X, if you will, of a Bigfoot sighting. Leave it up to speculation. I know good old Caesar, my father, he's a big advocator of like aliens and Bigfoot, and he believes it's out there. He doesn't believe there's just one singular Bigfoot that just runs amok, but multiple big feet out there. So This is one that was captured, and let me get the video pulled up here. We could take a gander at it. This is from Twitter, Boar Cure. I butchered that, but we'll stop sharing this, and I'll pop it up here. What are your guys' thoughts on Bigfoot before I play this?
I feel like it would have been found by now. The only real major footage we have is that shitty one of it clearly looks like a guy in a suit walking by for like 5 seconds. This one, I mean, at first, it seems kind of legit, but you never know
what we can find here.
An elusive creature. All right, just squat it down. Yeah, let me see your camera. I'll do it. It's an elusive creature.
It's kind of blends
All right, just squat it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see your camera. I'll do it.
Kind of a wide shot.
An elusive creature.
Yeah, you got a little phone.
And the thing is, like, a lot of the comments I've seen on some of these videos on Twitter is just like everyone's got 4K cameras and shit now until it comes time to film something like that, and then it's can't see shit or it's zoomed out. But on Twitter now or X, they'll let people add context to videos and stuff to kind of explain things. And one thing I did see, and it says readers added text, so it also may not necessarily be a real thing, but it says, this is located in Silverton in Durango. It's part of a quite popular Bigfoot-themed expedition trailer company called Sasquatch Expedition Trailers. The owner regularly dresses up as Sasquatch. So that's what's being said about that. So that could be the case there.
More than likely. I'm with you.
But I mean, it's just one of those things. It's fun to think about because, if there's just a ape-like figure out there in the woods just chilling, that'd be crazy. Just like
and just one of them.
Yeah,
just one of them though. The last Bigfoot.
That video itself, like all the the Bigfooters out there, they're probably probably took 4 weeks vacation from work, and now that they probably are out in that area scouring the.
We're going to Silverton.
Yeah,
we're gonna see him finally. And it's just Glenn, who owns Silverton.
Right.
Shit. In other news, we do have a Cleveland Browns player who was playing with fire. Well, we don't know actually what was going on. Speculation is out there, but he was lighting a fire pit at his home, maybe with gasoline, more than likely with gasoline, and more than likely with too much gasoline, as he burnt his face off and still ended up playing and leading the team in receiving yards at that against the Baltimore Ravens last week. He came in wearing a mask and kind of looked kind of creepy, like a Halloween type of outfit, but he ended up playing. I have image here I could probably show first before we show the video clip of him just kind of describing the situation, but he did post a picture on his Instagram. This is from TMZ, an image of the aftermath.
Yeah,
right
dude,
there's his face. Now, he did say that the original reason he wasn't trying to get clout out of, because no one was hating on him for playing or whatever the case was, but he did say, I saw a story on there that he originally posted this photo because of other burn victims out there were too scared or ashamed to show their face of their disformities and stuff. So he posted this photo to kind of, I guess, spread awareness and ease the embarrassment for those that feel embarrassed for the disformalities or anything like that with burn victims out there. So that's actually an awesome gesture coming from David Njoku. Yeah. And he also made a huge donation, from what I hear, to burn victims. There's a, here we go, another brain fart. A donation to a charity. There we go. That's the word, charity, there for burn victims. So it's been actually a pretty stellar week there for David Njoku, given all things considered with his face.
Yeah, I mean, we knew what happened. It was like 2 days before. There might have been the day before the game, and then he shows up. He has a mask on, so you don't know what he's looking like and stuff. And you don't know really the magnitude of the whole thing. Goes and plays an entire football game. I mean, look at his face right there, man. Could you imagine putting a
sweating
football helmet
into
on
that
and then getting hit by NFL players?
Yeah,
shot.
Is this the same guy that walked in with the mask on and he was walking into the locker room? That was like the coldest walk-in I've ever seen in football.
The mask was cool.
Like that was some cold shit.
Comic book character or something, but the mask was really cool. He came in, he had the fur coat on, no shirt underneath.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's awesome that he's doing all this stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, his hands and stuff were burnt too, so he's out there catching footballs. Yeah, like you said, led the team in receiving. Just like I couldn't even imagine just putting a helmet on. And then he looks better now, but he got something called a face scrape. So, I mean, sitting there and just having someone scrape all that shit off your face, like, God, man. Yeah, I just can't imagine.
This is walking right there.
Yeah, dude, like that's fucking.
I mean, that's baller. Yeah, that is some great gangster ass shit. And
you know, people talk about how athletes are all babies and overpaid, but this guy just went out and had himself a week and turned it into a positive for people who've been through something similar. That's the kind of sports stories that need to be highlighted.
But Dylan, like you said, I definitely have to imagine like too much gasoline was involved trying to start a fire pit, because like before I got like a charcoal chimney, like we used to use lighter fluid and stuff, and I've had some close calls. Unfortunately, nothing happened, but like, yeah, I mean, you put a little too much on there, you throw a match. I mean, you'll see that shit basically kind of explode right in your face. So I imagine something along those lines had to happen, but I don't know if you got that Twitter video where he kind of explains where he said his eyes were open during the whole ordeal, which is even crazier, man. So he really lucked out in this whole situation as far as like, the damage is done.
This is from Hayden Grove's X account here. A little 23-second video of him explaining the situation.
You felt better. What's this whole experience been like for you? Interesting. First and foremost, I give all the glory to God, when it happened, my eyes were open. So I saw everything, and I really should have been blinded. So, luckily I'm not. So, I give all the glory to God. What made you felt better?
Ever felt better?
Probably, man. I mean, you gotta imagine that dude, especially as he watched it all happen. I mean, damn, to be able to not only walk away from it, I guess I don't know if you can say unscathed, but being able to walk away from it in general, and then being able to play an NFL football game. Like I tweeted on to somebody on there, like, if I burn the tip of my finger, that entire hand is out of commission for weeks. I'm gonna walk around like a little bitch.
Yeah,
avoid using that hand. Yeah, dude. So I can't even imagine having my entire face, arms, and hands and stuff, skull, burnt to a crisp, and trying to play football, dude. So yeah, hats off to him, man. And I'm pretty sure I just seen that he's playing today. So
yep,
shout out to him, dude. Just putting it out there and doing it up, dude. You got to definitely respect that for sure.
Yeah, fuck. I just recently I did some grilling. I showed you that video with the D-Lo footage there with my Delmonico steaks I had on the grill last weekend, but I was pouring the coals down, and then some of the crumbs or the coals kind of fell through the grates, and went onto my deck there, and I just grilling in socks, went to go tender the steak, and then felt like I stepped on a shard of glass as I was stepping on a hot coal, and it melted through my sock, and I was like, fuck. Look, and there's a burnt hole in my foot with a blister. I don't know why it took so long for me to register that I was getting burnt, but it definitely felt like a shard of glass going through the heel of my foot there.
Sure.
I can't imagine my whole face and hands. And
no shot. Let's keep it rolling, D-Lo.
As we said in the beginning, Jada Pickett has probably more than likely lost more than just her hair, as she has lost her mind. She's been in the news everywhere, kind of slandering Will Smith and kind of making more of an embarrassment than he already made him for himself, especially more so the fact that he has probably done all this for not, because they've been separated for a while, according to her. She's put Tupac's name in her mouth, and she just, I don't know if she's doing this for clout, attention whore, or anything like that, but is there any kind of substance to this, you guys, do you think, or is she kind of just, just want to get in the headlines?
She's definitely trying to get in the headlines. I mean,
yeah.
If they weren't together, then why was she even at the Oscars to begin with? Because she benefited from it, and now she'll benefit from the fallout of it as well. I mean, what did Jada Pinkett do since the early 90s?
Yeah, just other than like being known as Will Smith's wife, and how they had this like picture perfect marriage. But yeah, I mean, she just comes out and just says, I was surprised that he referred to me as his wife. We've been separated sounds like for quite a long time, like several years. And then all that stuff comes out, how she was, sleeping around with I can't remember the dude's name, but that R&B singer, and it kind of said all that and put Will on her show and started spouting off about that, and just, I don't know, she keeps putting Will Smith in these like very awkward predicaments, and to the point where like that dude lost his shit live on TV in front of tens of millions of people, and soured his reputation, and got a 10-year ban from the Oscars, and now people are looking at him a different way. And like you said, it was all for naught, because I mean, she seems to not really give a shit, and yeah, it's just wild, man. It's just, she keeps kind of, and then I don't know if she has some like a book or anything come out, because she's been all over like the news this week, and on different shows and stuff like that, talking about these things. And I don't know, she just likes to go on about how her Tupac were like soulmates, and now this week she said he basically proposed to her while he was in jail or in prison.
Oh, that's why she's in the news, is because Keefe D got arrested for the Tupac shooting, so now that's back in the headlines, so she can coattail ride Tupac now.
Yeah, that's a good call. So yeah, I don't know, man. I definitely, not that I've put her on any kind of pedestal, but definitely lost some respect for her on that, because I mean, Will Smith kind of put it all out there, man. And even though what was said initially wasn't anything wild, it was just regular jokes, and she's fine. I mean, she's lost some hair and stuff, but I don't think like physically anything else, or internally, is wrong, where she's like has a shorter lifespan because of alopecia. So I think, I honestly, we talked about it when it happened. I just think that dude just had all that shit bottled up, because Will Smith's a guy, like on socials and stuff, he just has always appeared as though life is, peachy keen, and perfect, and he's a big family man. Because I didn't know that they were separated. They always took pictures all together, him and all the kids, and they were just like the picture perfect family. And apparently behind the scenes, that's not the case. They're separated. I think they still live together, and and all that stuff. So just, I think it all piled up, and who knows, man. And I think also, because remember in that video, he laughed along with everyone else when he did say the joke, but then they pan over to her, and she's got this pissed off look on his face. So I she is behind, whether or not she wants to admit it, she is the catalyst to that whole situation. Because he was laughing there, and then she probably, because we don't know, we only seen what we saw on the camera, so maybe off camera she gave him some sort of like fucking glare, like, are you gonna do anything or not? And then that kind of put him over the edge. But
what's interesting is celebrities. Go ahead, Dylan.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, and also like she was putting Tupac's shit on blast, as far as like something that he was hiding personally. Because you said that she has alpalasia, and she was saying that he also had that, but he never wanted to mention it, because back in that time it didn't look good, or wasn't a good look not to have hair, or whatever the case was. And she was like kind of saying, oh, but he looked great with it, and he made it work, and all that kind of stuff. That kind of like led in the whole conversation with him proposing, or supposedly proposing to her while he was in jail. But my question was that knowing all this kind of coming out, she's kind of almost throwing dirt on her own name with all this stuff because people are kind of like twisted on the whole thing. But does it sweeten your looks on Will Smith, even though maybe he shouldn't have slapped Chris Rock, obviously, given the situation? But more information coming out, does it kind of like maybe shine a better light on Will Smith, knowing that he's with a psycho?
I feel sorry. I mean, we're watching the guys. I mean, like Bobby said, Will Smith throughout our whole childhood, great movies, television shows, music, no scandals, famous kids, and then this completely out of character event happens, and we all thought it was fake at first, and then now it turns out it's real. But then she takes him on that show, it exposes, the truth to everyone, on a web series or wherever it's broadcast. We're seeing his fall from grace happen so quickly, and then he's like just trying to be the go along, get along guy of like, oh yeah, we're still a family, but Pac forever, and it's a really bad look for Will to continue to hang on at this point. I mean, he could still salvage. He could still be the victim turned hero of the story, but he's going to have to get out, or she's going to have to just stop talking. I have no idea why their PR team is allowing this kind of stuff to happen.
Yeah,
You're Will Smith.
I agree. I mean, all their kids are fully grown ass adults, so they really don't have any reason to stay together. If that because maybe that was the reason for a while, but all them kids are grown, like in their 20s. I think the oldest one's probably like close to my age, something like that. So they don't really need. There's no reason for them to stick together. Definitely no reason for them to be in the same house while she's fucking off with some dude. And
it's a real simp look, real simpy.
Yeah, and it just sucks too because like after a while, like he's kind of come back in the scene a little bit and like kind of just trying to work his way back, and then all that stuff gets brought up, and now people are probably shitting on him because he kind of looks like a fucking cuck now because. His wife's basically saying like, I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he called me his wife.
Right. Yeah. I don't know him.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, man, I don't know where this goes from here, but
hopefully good things, man. I mean, we love Will Smith. We don't care about Jada.
He needs one banger, man. He needs to drop one banger in the movies.
One more.
And that, you know what I mean? That'll kind of bring him
Independence
back.
Day 2, man. Yeah. ID 2. Now that aliens are confirmed. Come on, in real life.
Good. That wraps it up all there for the Around the Mill with Dill. No more topics on that front, but we do have.
All right. Well, let's before we jump into our last segment, Chad, we'll bid you adieu. We appreciate you coming on and giving us all the info on what you guys got going on over there. We really love what you're working up, and definitely think it's going to be something special. And like I said, if you guys have any questions about that, definitely reach out to me or Dylan, and we'll get you over to Chad and some of his colleagues, and they'll answer all the questions you got and give you all the info you need in the case that you want to. Put your kids, in their program, which I think is definitely something to think about. So once, Jax gets up there, we'll see, how he's feeling about it. Push him over there. So we'll see.
Hey, thanks again, guys. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. Sorry to be a little long-winded at times.
All good, man.
Appreciate you guys letting me get the word out about this tournament advantage and then the future endeavors. So
sure, and thanks for staying on and being our third cohort here while Joe was away. We definitely appreciate that as well.
We got to hold it down for Joe, man.
We'll be in touch, my man. So appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Take care.
We'll see you. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, D-Lo. But yeah, let's end it off with our gambling segment before we cap off episode 154. Last week, I mean the TSP parlay, we barely missed it. We missed it by 3 yards. Zach Wilson unfortunately couldn't make it happen. I mean, he had a 40-yard pass on that last drive. I got very excited because it was a struggle for him, and then he threw one that I didn't watch the game, but I had seen somebody said it went through the hands of Garrett Wilson turned into a pick, and that was it for us. And then unfortunately, the D-Lo lock that I think you felt the strongest you had felt about a prop in a long time. But you did say, like I said in pre-production, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You did say your only one worry was the performance of Jordan Love, who did stink up the joint, and the guy ended up getting one reception for 7 yards, and that was it for the whole game. So, fortunately, the D-Lo lock was a miss, and it was not a good weekend for the TSP boys. But we don't go down without a fight. We're back again this week with some stuff. You guys already seen the TSP parlay by now, so that's going to get going here later today. But obviously, by the time this comes out, this will be over. But this is our TSP parlay this week, just a little two-legger, something me and D'Lo came this week. My contribution was Jordan Addison over 53.5 yards against the Chicago Bears. Justin Jefferson, we've seen the news just last night. He's going to be out at least 4 to 6 weeks, which is crazy. And they're talking about maybe him being out even longer because of some contractual issues and him not really liking the quarterback play. So that's a whole other thing there. Jordan Addison is somebody that they drafted to kind of be a compliment to Justin Jefferson, but now he's got to be the guy. So I think they're going there, and I'm hoping that he can make it happen against a Bears defense that is shaky and kind of on a roller coaster here. So I think Kirk Cousins will be looking at his way quite a bit, and we're hoping he can make it happen. But D'Lo, you can get into your CJ Stroud portion.
Yeah, I do love that pick as well with Addison, with Jefferson being out, and they don't have a run game over there in Minnesota either. So they're going to be passing the ball, and I like Kirk Cousins as a reliable source, getting him and feeding him the ball. Now, with CJ Stroud, you're looking at your possible offensive rookie of the year. I mean, he's had a stellar year or start to his year. He has passed this line over 223.5 yards in all 5 games this season. He throws the rock with precision and accuracy, and he hasn't had a turnover yet. I believe just last week he broke the record. I think he's at 186 total passing attempts without an interception. That's the most to start a career. And I think that just broke Dak Prescott's record previously. And he's just, he's slinging the rock out there, and he's doing it with a purpose. And he might not have the most outstanding weapons, but he's getting the job done. And I know that New Orleans has a pretty good defense, but they are at home. I do believe that they're not going to have too much of a run game going forward. So I do feel like it's going to be, I would say, over 30, maybe 30, around 30 passing attempts. So I think he can get well over this 223.5. I do think that this might be getting us to 2 and 3, Bobby.
Let's hope. We need it. Let's get us closer to 500 and hopefully get a little bit of a streak going. But let's pop in the D-Lo lock of the week, the Monday Night Football lock of the week, and then we'll close this baby out.
Yes, sir, Ski. This is the D-Lo Monday Night Football lock. Threw this one together real quick. That one's going to be for Week 6 Cowboys at Chargers. I am 2 and 4, unfortunately, but that does not mean I can't go 3 and 4 after this one. I misspelled his name, but that is going to be Austin Eckler there. That's a typo for me, but Austin Eckler is going to be...
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, Austin Eckler. Little bit of a fat finger there.
The last name's misspelled too. Could be wrong on that as well, but you guys know who it is. Man.
I'm pretty sure it's Eckler like that. But anyways, over 51.5 rushing yards. That's minus 114 on FanDuel. He's rushed. He's only played in 1 game this season. This is going to be his first week back. Thank God, because he's on my fantasy team, and Lord knows I need the help. But he has rushed for 107 in his one and only game this year. Dallas is 21st in rushing defense and has allowed an average of 148 rushing yards to their opponents in the last 3 games. So I do like this. He's going to come back. They're going to feed him the ball, and I'm pretty sure they're at home, and they're going to love his presence back there in the backfield. I know his receiving prop is also pretty tempting as well. I think that was at like 30-something, 33.5. But we're going to go with this rushing 51.5, and I think he's going to get the job done there on Monday night to go 3 and 4 for the Monday Night Football locks.
All right, baby. Let's go. We're we could be a little bit better, but luck is involved as well. I mean, we don't just pull these out of our ass. We do the research. We make sure we try to find the good plays. And last week that parlay, that was a good parlay, but I mean, like I said, we were short by just 3 yards. That's it.
Yeah.
And otherwise we would have been gone golden. So I mean, yours hit very easily. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey is going to get a fucking touchdown for the next 8,000 weeks. And yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson, he's not the strongest guy, but it's just with matchups and what he was able to do the previous week, I thought 200 yards would have been a piece of cake, but that's how it goes. So we'll see how things shake out for us this week. And with that said, D-Lo, that was another very strong episode. It was awesome having Chad on. He was a nice little, a little last second fill in almost after being, the guest of the week. He came in and did a damn good job. And I think Joe will agree when he watches. And like I said, this unfortunately Joe had a last minute thing pop up, so he couldn't pop in. So, but the show goes on as we always say, and we'll definitely have him back next week. And like I said, we'll find out if he was able to pull off the dub with the Wendy's chili. I'm interested to see how that goes. And we'll I know he made a pretty fire soup this week too, so I definitely want to get the backstory on that and see how that all turned out. So, but for now, D-Lo, you know what time it is.
Yes, sir. Be sure to always help us out by smashing that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like the video, helps the algorithms out, and leave a comment of what you thought about the episode and what you want to see going forward. Also, thank you for Paul Tippy for joining us on the TSP landline. I love that the new phone feature and how this is all working out, bringing some guests in on a whim like that to join in on the show. Thanks to Chad for hopping in and giving us his time and sharing everything about youth wrestling. And hopefully it goes into the ears of those out there who are not as informed and kind of gets them interested in maybe one of their local clubs or one that Chad's running himself at the Maverick Invitational. So from myself, the Greek from far away, hopefully everything's going well with you, buddy. And Bobby, have a wonderful week, friends, and we'll catch you for 155 in the next episode.